medicine is the cure for that disease.
He said that this technology is expected to be deployed by 2020 and that laws will be in place to protect the public from its misuse.
I expect that by the time nanorobots are deployed, which will be sometime perhaps in the 2020s or the 2030s, we will have a whole set of laws in place, regulations. There will be things you can and cannot do.
The laws were never put in place, but the technology was patented and deployed to billions of people without their knowledge in 2020. We know this because several independent labs have confirmed the presence of this nanotechnology in the COVID vaccines. And Bill Gates recently admitted to this as well.
Making the mRNA is really easy and really cheap, and that's the magic of this thing. But there's no doubt in the next 5 years, we just need to mess around. There's a lot of lipid nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembling.
Self-assembly and self-replication seem to be the same technology when it comes to nanorobots. And this was considered to be the greatest danger involved with the use of this technology.
Self-replication causes disease. Nanorobots are inherently much stronger than biological systems being built of diamondoids. So if they self-replicate, that disease, quote unquote, could be even a tougher problem than biological disease. So first of all, what's the feasibility of self-replication in the nanotechnology world?
As a general principle, you do not want to put self-replicating nanorobots inside the human body. I suppose not everybody agrees with me on that, but that is the way I think that we can best guarantee safety. If the nanorobots are able to replicate inside the human body, that means they are using some component of the human body as food, and we don't want them to be doing that.
In his 1986 book, Engines of Creation, Kim Eric Drexler wrote about what he termed the gray goo scenario, a hypothetical catastrophic event caused by out-of-control, self-replicating nanotechnology, which consumes the biomass of the host. And this is exactly what independent researchers are finding. It explains the large, so-called blood clots being found in the dead. And it's spreading. Evidence shows that the vaxxed are shedding this to the unvaxxed. This is Greg Reese.
So let's just get into this, and I'd like to take you through the patents that are on Moderna's website. So there's a patent entitled Modified Polynucleotides for the Production of Secreted Proteins. This is one of the master patents for what they're calling mRNA vaccines. Right in the abstract, it describes that the lipid nanoparticles have a particle size between 80 and 160 nanometers, and it contains modified mRNA encoding a polypeptide. It includes a cationic lipid, a neutral lipid, a cholesterol, and a pegylated lipid. What they're calling lipids actually host cationic charges. They host positive electromagnetic fields. There is no lipid in nature that does that. They're using the term lipid instead of nanotechnology. As you go through the patent in section 219, it explains how they are self-assembled nanoparticles, and they're fully programmable. That term in here it is an alarming term for a number of reasons. One reason is that these are both pre-programmable as well as they can receive programs from an external source. Microsoft did a 3-minute video on their technology. They call them biological computers. So there's one specific patent that I think it's very important for every American citizen to see, and it's patent number US 9539210B2. It was issued on January 10th of 2017. The patent is entitled Vaccine Nanotechnology, and in section 9, it discusses the vaccine nanotechnology that can deliver molecules. In some embodiments, the small molecule is a toxin. The toxin is from a chemical weapon, an agent of biowarfare. This is a utility patent for the pegylated lipid nanoparticles that are in these, what they're calling COVID-19 vaccines.
I don't want to be part of this mass genocide that I see happening. And I think that what's going on right now will be remembered as a worse time in history compared to what World War II happened.
You are raising doubt about a vaccine.
I hope I am, because I hope more people take heed of the warning that is necessary.
You think I'm vaccinated, right? You think I have a time bomb in me and I'm going to die?
Well, I hope not, but I'll be happy to meet you in 3 years and see how you're doing.
But you think that's possible?
I think that it's probable.
You think I'm vaccinated, right? You think I have a time bomb in me and I'm going to die?
Well, I hope not, but I'll be happy to meet you in 3 years and see how you're doing.
But you think that's possible?
I think that it's probable.
We have some stunningly heartbreaking news to share with you this morning, that our colleague, our friend, and truly distinguished CNN journalist Drew Griffin passed away in the last 24 hours. Drew had been with CNN for nearly 2 decades. In that time, he was responsible for some of the most impactful journalism of this company in politics, sports, government, big business. He was a good man, a tremendous journalist, a huge part of this network.
He absolutely was. He asked the tough questions, as anybody who watches CNN knows. He chased down folks who didn't want to hear them, didn't want to answer them. He made a real difference in the lives of countless people. Here's Anderson Cooper now with a look back at Drew's remarkable life.
All right, it's 12:41 on May 20th, and I was supposed to be interviewing Dr. Rashid Buttar right now, and I literally just found out right now that he's not going to be on today's show because he is deceased. And I don't have the words to articulate what he meant to me. So I just found this out 11 minutes ago. So I'm just going to re-air our interview from last week, and my thoughts and prayers go out to Rashid Buttar, Dr. Rashid Buttar, the late great Dr. Rashid Buttar, and to his family. And he's a great friend of mine. And I'll miss him.